Good morning and a very warm welcome to the very first masterclass in my brand new 4-part masterclass series, How to Future-Proof Your Business in 2020. So I'm Rachel Smith, business grower. I'm the host here in Live Your Abundant Life. So we're just going to wait a few moments to see who is going to join us live. We won't wait too long for those people who are watching the replay back, because time is precious, especially at this time of year, and I have a load of content to share with you today, and then I've got lots of other exciting things to do. So today, the very first masterclass is probably one of the juiciest. We're going to be talking about the key trends in 2020 for business growth. And this really comes from recognizing that the online world has changed quite a lot in the last 18 months. And as we start to look forward to 2020, as we start to make, hopefully making plans for business growth, business profitability, it's absolutely essential to understand what those key trends are that are happening across the board so that you flourish in 2020. So 2020, wow, it's already been designated a power year, and everything is in alignment, regardless of how it might feel politically at the moment here in the UK, but everything's in alignment for those people who are ready to step up in 2020 to really grow the business that you desire to have. So as you come on board, come say hi. It's always great to see who is here. I'm just going to have a drink of water. I've remembered to bring my water. So many times recently I've been doing lives and started being like a bit like, oh my God, I'm going to cough, and not had any water. So we're going to be talking about the key trends for 2020 for business growth, because as I was just saying, the online world has changed significantly in the last 18 months. So this masterclass is perfect for you if you have got big goals for you and your business in 2020 and you want to get ahead of the game. It's also for you if you already know that you want to leverage your business and you just want to cut through, any kind of problems, any challenges that might be there currently. Good morning, lovely to see you here. And that you really understand that actually you're all in right now to understand how you can maximize your profit in 2020. And this is definitely for you if you are ready to kickstart generating epic results in your business, because that is exactly what is available for you. And maybe you have found, maybe you have found that this year, 2019, has been particularly difficult, or maybe more difficult than you've experienced in business, and you're interested in understanding, okay, things have shifted, what are those things and how can I counter them? And as I often say, is that as a business, I've been running a business for a long time now, and you do see things going through cycles, and the market does shift and change. And your ability to shift and change, your ability to, take on board the information that I'm sharing, the information that you will be gathering from your own market, is therefore your ability to pivot and change as well. We cannot, we only have to look at the high street to see the big brands in retail who haven't pivoted, who haven't changed, who are struggling, or who have already gone from our high streets. And that's not what we want for us in our online world. So, and following, and for full visibility and full honesty, I'm going to be sharing a very special opportunity for you at the end of today's masterclass. If the information that I've shared with you is resonating with you and it's got you really excited about planning and taking your business forward in 2020. But let's get into today's content. And the way that I'm going to run this masterclass is I'm going to share content because it's juicy, and I really want you to understand this and for you to have the space in your own head to think about how this relates to you in business. Please post up any questions. post up anything that you want clarifying, and then at the end of the content, I'll happily answer your questions. And if you're watching the replay back, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, I'm still here to answer your questions as well. So just from those kind of 4 positions that I spoke about, which one most resonates with you? Do you know that you've got like some big juicy goals for 2020 and you want to get ahead of the game? Perhaps you found this year more difficult than you have previous years. Or are you kind of excited about generating results in your business and big juicy results? Perhaps you've already started to build some momentum in your business and can see what's possible and you're excited for that. Or are you in the position where you know that you've been in business for a little while and actually you can see that you've got this potential to leverage that and take your business to the next level? So whereabouts are you in that? I'd love to hear from you. So let's get into this. So as I've just shared, that the online world has changed dramatically in the last 18 months. Previously, you could rock up, share a bit of content, put an offer out there, and people would buy from you. And that has changed quite significantly. And the reason why it has changed is because there are more businesses online. There are more people doing the things that we do in business. The market is becoming saturated. There is a lot of choice for people. Obviously, that choice can feel overwhelming. And it's our job as business owners to make it as clear as possible why people should come and work with us. The other side of things is, and this I think is a good thing, is that people, our audience, our potential clients, have actually become savvier. They have become savvier about what to invest in. So they already have, lots and lots of content sat on their hard drives. They've already invested in programs and courses and all of those things. And they're actually looking for something different now. They're beginning to, and maybe also within that example, is perhaps they have had bad experiences. Unfortunately, in the world that I operate in, it's not regulated. And even myself as a savvy business coach have had some shocking examples of like poor customer service, people not carrying through. And it can make your audience actually really reluctant to invest in you, even if they're like, oh my God, this is the right person for me. It's the kind of rule used to be that people needed between kind of 13 and 24 touches before they actually decided to buy from you, and that has actually extended. And it comes from a saturated market, it's come from people having bad experiences, and it's come from your audience being a lot savvier. Morning, Lisa, lovely to see you here. So if those are resonating with you, I would love to hear if actually from your perspective as a person who buys products and services, do you feel as if you've become a little savvier, a little bit more selective about how you're actually investing your hard-earned cash? So the trends for 2020, the number one trend, which I personally find really exciting, is that there is a big shift, and it's already started to happen, but there is a big shift from people moving away from products and services that are purely delivered online. There's a big movement towards people wanting more human contact. And again, you've got to remember that everything in life and everything in business goes round in a cycle. So, what we've had in the past is we've had years of everything being online, everything being really accessible. But what has happened because of that is that we've all got hard drives full of downloads, freebies, courses, programs, boot camps. We've had it all. And it becomes tiresome, doesn't it? And it doesn't address that key problem that many of us feel in business, is that actually running your own business, this is the reality. This is, on a day-to-day basis, this is me in my square box in my office running my own business. Yes, I'm connected to my coach. Yes, I'm connected to other like-minded women. But on a day-to-day basis, I am here on my own and I haven't got anybody to speak to on a day-to-day basis, person to person, about business. So more and more, there's a bigger shift, and it's going to increase in 2020. There's a bigger shift towards people wanting like person-to-person contact, which I find personally really exciting because I run events all the time and that hasn't shifted at all. But for you, it's thinking now for you in your business, you know, how does that kind of relate to your business? How can you bring some human contact into your business? And a lot of these, I'm going to share 4 key trends with you today, and a lot of them are interrelated. So there's some ideas for you about how you can bring human contact into your business. One of them is that for yourself, you could actually go to more events, couldn't you? You know, you could actually go out, get out of your square box, out of your office, out of your workspace, and actually go and meet other like-minded people, to get in a room, you know, go to networking events, go to training events, go to mastermind days, you know, actually take yourself out. And when we do that, we grow. When we actually have to, because it's not just a case, you know, women in business, it's not just a case of like grabbing your bag and going, is it? There's a whole lot of logistics that need to be put in place before you can actually get anywhere outside of your typical workspace. But when you make that effort, when you take that step, you're already in your mind up leveling. You're already doing something different. You're already growing, and then you're at the event surrounded by like-minded people, being inspired, inspiring others, being connected, having that human-to-human contact. And we are human beings, and we crave that. Whether you're an extrovert or an introvert or somewhere in the middle, you will crave at some point like human contact. So let me know if that's resonating with you. So some of the ideas about how that like relates into your business, how that translates into 2020 is that you could go to more person-to-person events. You could put yourself forward as a speaker for events. I've started doing that and that's amazing. I love it. You could run events, you could run training days, you could run retreats. There are all sorts of different ways that you can generate that human-to-human contact. And it depends how you're wired. Some people go all in and like go, right, I'm going to run like an event. That's totally resonating with me. I can see how that's going to work. And then other people are like, well, actually, maybe I need to just like go back into the world and start to network and see what that feels like. But this is going to be a bigger and bigger movement towards people wanting something different from just another online course. And there might be ways that you can actually bring that human to human element within your business, even if you're like living remotely. So I'm thinking about Lisa, my client who lives in Ireland. So it might be that she's like, well, that'd be great if I could run an event, but lots of my clients are, you know, across the world. But it could be that you actually bring an element into your business where you run, you know, something, even if it's virtually, where you bring not just yourself, but you bring a group of like-minded clients together. So yeah, definitely. So Becky's saying, so that she's seeking more in-person events and networking for 2020. In fact, Becky and I have recently met in person, and it was one of the, as many of you will know, was one of the goals that I set myself in the summer, and that's really dramatically changed a lot of things in my business, which is really, really exciting. And it was a big shift for me because I did a lot of person-to-person in the early days, and then I pulled back from that. And I have, up until recently, just left in my quarterly live events. But in 2020, we'll see me running more and more events in person. And there is nothing like meeting your clients in person. It is so frigging powerful. And it is so powerful, as Becky and I know from actually meeting each other, to have that connection and knowing that you've got people in your local area who understand this crazy world that we're in. So that is the biggest trend. One of the biggest trends for 2020 is thinking about how you can bring that person-to-person, that human contact into your business. Interesting. The second one is about your content. Now, your content can be anything, can't it? It can be a freebie, it can be what you write, it could be live videos, it could be a blog post. You know, content covers a lot. So it could be webinars, it could be masterclasses like this. And it's about ensuring that your content deeply conveys your key values. So as I said, the marketplace is becoming very busy. It's not to give you a fright, it's not to scare you, it just gives us an opportunity as business owners to step up, which I absolutely love. You know, this is like the universe saying, right, okay, come on, next level. Those people who are prepared to step up, those people who are prepared to look at these trends and actually take them on board and bring them into their business, these are the people who will not get left behind. And this means it gives us an opportunity to grow and expand as business owners, which is really exciting. So what do I mean about content that deeply conveys your key values? As business owners, we all have key values that are personal and individual to us, which is essential in a busy marketplace, because you want your audience to know what you are making a stand for, and you want to draw like-minded people to you because they are more likely to buy from you. We all know about niching. We all understand that there's absolutely no point in the world in marketing to everybody because it's exhausting, it doesn't work. You want to be really specific about who you are in the marketplace and who you are calling into you, so that you resonate, you have that rapport, you have that understanding, and they are more likely to come and work with you. They're more likely to come and sing your praises. They're more likely to refer you on to other people. So a question back for you is to think about the content that you're putting out there. You know, maybe you're just really busy in your life and in your business. You know, December's a great time to demonstrate that business, isn't it? It's often like, I need to put some content out, I'll just put something out there. And sometimes we look at what other people are putting out there and we can get inspired and think, oh yeah, that's a really good like trend to put out there now. And that isn't the right way. With our content, it's about you using your key values to ensure that your audience understand who you are, what you're about, what you're making a stand for, and who you are there to work with. It's about being consistent, as it always is with your content. You know, I've got lots of stories of people who I was going to work with and then just disappeared off the face of the earth, and I ended up working with somebody else. And that's what happens in reality. If you're like consistent and then you kind of like drop off with your content, you have to start all over again. And that's why I'm running these masterclasses in December, is to give you some like food for thought to kind of mull over during December, and for you to start to put that plan in place. And if you're like, oh yeah, I haven't been very consistent with my content, it's about starting now, because it's going to take about 3 months of consistent content for your audience to like go, yay, I'm with her, I'm in her gang. So within the content piece, there's something that's is so interesting. How people are switching. So before it was all about tips and strategies, which obviously, you know, you do need to share a bit of that, but it's also about storytelling. And as personal as you can get, and as vulnerable and as true as you can get about your own journey, your own story, or even sharing stories of your clients, obviously with permission, but storytelling is absolutely key. People want to know that you are relatable. I, as a person who invests, I do not want to invest with somebody who I feel is like on a stage somewhere and I can't actually have that human-to-human contact with them. Now, I want to invest, and I invest only with those people who I truly feel as if they are relatable, that they understand my struggles and my challenges and my problems because they've been there. And the only way that you can ensure that your audience understands that is by sharing stories. So think about storytelling in your business. And I used to be really good at storytelling, and then I kind of a content shifted, and I'm getting back into storytelling now. And because I've got those two types of pieces content going at the moment, where I've got, you know, some stuff that's a bit like business, but a lot of the other stuff that's storytelling, I can tell you the ones get the biggest hit, who gets the biggest comments, the biggest people reading it, the biggest number of people sharing it, and that is when you're telling a story. And I get people inboxing me and emailing me and saying, oh my God, I just love that you shared that. And that opens up, you know, it means that your content is much more usable because you are creating a connection. So remember what I said about the first trend for 2020 was all about connection, and this is linked to that. So think about your content, think about how you can ensure that people understand who you are, what your key values are, and use stories to become that relatable person, to start to nourish that relationship. A prime example of this, actually, I'm just reminded, is that somebody recently, I shared a post about how I bought my dream second home, and it was a very personal piece. And in fact, I didn't go as personal as I wanted to, because there are people in my online world who, like personal family members, who take umbrage at some of the stuff that I wanted to share. So just imagine how powerful it would have been if I'd actually shared the full picture. But you know, it was a real piece. You know, it's like, oh, I bought my second property, but actually it was really hard, and it was like, you know, telling the truth. And from that, somebody and this happens a lot, somebody contacted me and said, oh my God, that was really great, and got into a conversation. And now she's come back to me and she wants some NLP, and I'm like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I can NLP you. That's absolutely brilliant. And that piece, I can't even remember if it had a call to action. It definitely wasn't about you know, working on somebody's confidence through NLP. It was something completely different, but that's what I'll be working with that client on. So think about sharing stories in your business. And the other side of things is to share results. Like I said, the market is busy. There's a lot of people who, you know, especially in my world, who are business coaches, you know, it's about ensuring that your audience understand that you and the way that you do business actually helps generate results for your clients. That's what you want to know when you're investing, isn't it? Is, do you get results? Yes, I do. Brilliant. Go and share that. You know, go and ask your clients, you know, what results are you getting, and just share it every week. Just go and share what your clients are achieving. We forget, don't we? We forget how brilliant we are and how much of an impact we have with other people, because we're always busy on to the next thing. But always, once a week, go out there, gather up your results and go and share them. Okay, so for 2020 then, for you then, is to think about how you can bring a kind of relatable storytelling content consistently to your audience, and how you can start to really develop that contact. We want contact. We're human beings. We're wired for contact. Okay, the third trend is, again, it's very related to what I said, and it's about ensuring that you constantly market research your audience. Now, that might sound really boring or really scary, but it's really, really essential. What would you prefer to do? Would you prefer to have several conversations with your audience and to understand if first of all, if they're the right people for you? So therefore, are your strategies for growing your business the right ones? You know, so that will like save you from like throwing money at Facebook ads that don't work, or hanging out in Facebook groups that are actually building any audience for you. So what would you rather have? Like to have some conversations with your audience and really get to understand what their needs are, or over here and just be sat there in your office thinking, oh, I'm really passionate about vision boarding, so I'm going to do a vision boarding day, and not to have that connection between the two things. And if you're, you know, if you've been part of Live Your Abundant Life, oh, that was interesting. Oh, I had a technical moment then. So if you've been in Live Your Abundant Life over the last kind of week, you would have seen that I've put up the opportunity for people to actually come and get some free coaching from me. And part of that is because I'm going to, and they know this when they sign up to it, is that half of that call is going to be me asking them a load of questions about who they are, how long they've been in business, and also talking to them about, you know, what are your problems, what are your challenges? And this is so, so valuable. So again, I would love to know from the people who are here, are you going out there and conducting market research with your audience? Who's doing that, or who's maybe thinking about doing that now? But some of the ways that you can do that, obviously, I like that person-to-person contact. So I'm really, really happy to get people on calls and do that quick pro quo thing, where, obviously they're getting something for spending some time with me and helping me. But you can do it through questionnaires, surveys, polls, and it may feel really scary to actually go and ask them, but you are going to gather so much information from them. Don't worry about it, Becky. Honestly, the whole purpose of these masterclasses is for you to be sat there taking notes, most definitely. And it might be that after the masterclass, you've actually got some questions, and that's absolutely fine. But you really want to be asking your audience, even get into a habit of doing it every single quarter. And you will gather like so much information, like are they the right people? Is your audience growing strategy actually helping? Which obviously we'll be talking about tomorrow. Then you'll get to understand what their biggest problems are. Then you'll get to understand, the words that they use when they describe that problem. So sometimes people say, "Oh, I want to be more visible," but actually, when you have the opportunity to delve a little bit further, help with visibility actually translates to that client needs greater confidence. They need to have the ability to overcome their fear of being visible. Or it could be help with visibility could be all about the message, the marketing, the content, the positioning. So help with visibility is quite a broad topic, but actually when you have the opportunity to drill down, you will really begin to understand what your audience means. And, basically you are asking your audience what they want from you. The most important thing to take from that is for you to only create offers that you're qualified to do. And I don't mean like have exams and certificates, but like you have something you can genuinely share with them that will help them. But the second thing is to only create offers that you are passionate about. If they're saying, "Oh, I want some help with I don't know, I'm trying to think of something really boring and I can't think of anything," but just say it was something that you think, "Oh, I don't really want to do that." Don't do it. That would be my best word of advice is, only ever deliver something that is in alignment with who you are and genuinely gets you excited. So Becky says, "I'm not doing any market research. I've mentioned a pivot I'm doing in 2020 to people in my network, but not to my wider audience." Oh, that's exciting. Morgan says, "I've done some at the beginning, always do it after my course." Brilliant. This is amazing. That is really, really cool. And it's just to always check in with your audience. What have I done there with my lipstick? That's weird. Oh no. That's better. Oh my God. Right. The fourth trend, you'll be glad that we're getting to the end of that. The fourth one is it's about standing out, isn't it? And it's about not being afraid to stand out. And actually, I think Becky is a prime example here. Becky's got like a really interesting niche, and it is really, really different. And you might think, "Oh, that's going to be really difficult to take to the marketplace. Maybe people don't like it." But actually, it's about you being absolutely confident in who you are, what you're all about. And it's about the fourth trend is about creating a movement. So creating a movement that your audience can feel really excited about, that they're like, "Oh my God, this person is about this." So Rachel's really about women stepping up in the business, working the mindset, really nailing the money mindset, really going out there and creating growth and great results and consistent months of income. It's about creating that movement and really understanding, and the best way that I've ever heard it described is thinking about what you are making a stand for on behalf of your clients. And I love that. So let me just say that again. So what are you making a stand for on behalf of your clients? So the thing that I'm making a stand for is that I understand, unfortunately, that there are people who in this online world as a coach or a mentor, they will rip you off. And my clients have maybe experienced that. So I make a stand for not ripping people off. It's about, delivering them exactly or even more than you've promised. It's about, going to that extra, let's say I had a program and within that you got like 4 coaching calls, let's say. If I see that somebody is like really close to achieving their results, but they are struggling, I won't sit back and go, well, they've had the 4 calls, I'm not doing anything else. I will reach out and say to them, come on, let's just jump on a call and let's get this thing nailed. Because I understand, because I've been there, how it frigging feels when you're struggling and when you look at, your contract and it's like, well, I've got everything that I've said, that I'm going to get, and not to be supported. And I also, I really think that it's essential that, I'm not saying like don't undervalue yourself, but like if you can go over and above to help your clients, that's what you're going to be remembered for. And you're always going to be remembered for that person who went that little bit further to ensure that your client got the results that they want. So people want to be part of a movement. We want to know what you're making a stand for. So think about what you are making a stand for on behalf of your clients and allow that to come through your content so that, again, your people can easily identify you and go, yes, you're for me. I completely want to be part of this movement, part of something exciting where I can feel as if I've got a place in that. Okay, so, and that all comes to building communities, nurturing and building your audience, which we'll go into a lot more in tomorrow's masterclass. So, whilst you're all here, oh, Becky says, I used to love Instagram stories for market research, but the bots have ruined it. There's always something that's ruined it. Honestly, Becky, we just have to keep on like adapting. I can tell you guys, it's very exciting. I went for an interview with the Samaritans last week and I was successful, so that was amazing. And we were talking about lots of different things. And I was just saying that, as an entrepreneur, it is one of the biggest, most amazing personal growth journeys that you're on, because you can't stand still. You can't stand still and say, well, I use Instagram stories for this, because things come along and change. So like our ability to change is absolutely essential. So just whilst you guys are taking that on board, what I'd really like to know, and this is back to, something I've shared with you about actually doing my market research. So far, from the content that you've gathered from me in this kind of 30-minute masterclass, has it been worth your while in actually coming and listening to this content? Have you already got some ideas about how you can use these 4 kind of key trends in your business? I would love to hear that. That helps me. That helps me to understand, what really resonates, what works. So that obviously I can grow. I want to grow, don't I, as well? So yeah, you don't stop growing and learning and changing and adapting and just, understanding how you can be a different version. So just let me know if it's been worth your while. Yeah, so yeah, so Becky would love to know more ways to do market research. Right, let's have a little we'll do a Q&A in a minute. Okay. So I promised that I'd share something that I've created for women who are ready to step up in 2020. And I'm going to share that with you now. I won't take very much time, because if you hear this and it's resonating with you, you'll know. But I am running a live event. Yay to live events. Tick for like human contact. On Thursday, the 30th of January, here in York. I've got the most beautiful room. York is absolutely full of these really quirky, amazing places where you can hold events. And we are going to spend, well, if you come along, you'll be spending a day working on your business, and it's all about your big money plan for 2020. So you're going to get to spend an entire day mapping out 2020. So yes, I know we're already in January, but let's give ourselves a month to kind of get over Christmas. And really, there'll be a lot of pre-work as well, because it's about coming to the event and mapping out you know, what your big vision is, and really anchoring that down. So I'll be using a lot of mindset as well. So I'll be anchoring in what your big vision for 2020 is. So actually it starts to feel as if that's like, you know, it's just going to happen, and that you've begin to build and grow that unshakable belief within yourself that you can achieve your results. And then it's about looking at your plan in particular. So it's looking at your pricing, looking at all the content themes that you need. It's looking at what your offers are, what your launch, when your launches will be. So it's mapping all of that out, which is really exciting. So you'll end up with a, you know, kind of 12-month plan of that. So for me, that I know that I've got this big, juicy thing that I want to do at the end of 2020, but in order to make it happen, I've got to promote it in the summer months. So that's exactly the type of clarity that you'll get from this event, is that you'll be getting that clarity about what 2020 means for you as a business. You'll be mapping that out, and then you'll have that clarity. You'll be able to see when you need to start warming your audience up, growing your audience, when you need to start to launch it and sell it, and so on and so forth. And then I'll be sharing how you can use goals and goal setting and planning in 90-day cycles to, you know, deliver that plan, because it's great to have a 12-month plan. It's really good to have that kind of vision for 2020, but there will be things that you know, as we've been talking about a lot, is pivoting, and it's a lot will be like, this is my plan, but there might be some things that have to shift and change, and that's absolutely fine. That's what the kind of goal setting and the 90-day planning cycles allow you to do. So we'll also be spending a little bit of the time ensuring that any blocks or resistance that you might feel to getting to that next level of income and success are actually removed. So we'll be working both on money and mindset, and then the big strategy piece as well. So that's happening on Thursday, the 30th of January. It's a full day event. The investment is £150, and when you buy before the end of December, you can actually split that over 3 payments and making it very, very affordable. York is a really easy place to travel to. It's got central links, there's loads of Airbnb places. I have people who come from London, from Devon, from Scotland. You know, no distance is a problem for York. It used to be the capital of the UK many, many years ago. Maybe it should become the capital again. There are just 14 seats available. I purposely keep my events tight because I want to be able to go and spend time with everybody in the room. So you will have my eyes and ears on your business. So that's really, really important for me, is to actually have the small group. There are only 10 seats left. I've already pre-sold 4 seats. So if you want to come along, or you want more details about that, I have got the link here, and I'll share it below. And yeah, and this is great because, you know, there's so many times that in previous weeks, years, I would have not had a plan. I'd have just like rocked up at my desk and tried winging it, and it just doesn't work. It just makes life incredibly difficult. And this is your opportunity to actually spend a day, take yourself away, come and be in beautiful location, and work on your business, and you will walk away with like your mindset fixed. You will walk away with your plan and a whole lot of clarity and focus as well. And you'll work with some amazing clients, other clients as well of mine. Brilliant. Okay, so that's what I was going to share today. And the only final thing before we get into the Q&A is to share that tomorrow's masterclass is all about how to grow your business in 2020. It is absolutely essential, isn't it? Okay, so we'll talk about that at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So Becky wanted some more ideas about market research. So Becky, for me then, I run a Facebook group, so I often put polls in the group. So if I look at my kind of 2019 plan, I'll be thinking, right, okay, I've got a launch coming up in the next 3 months. I'm going to be, let's say it's about growing your email list. So I'll be talking to people about growing your email list, what I'd want to know beforehand, before I start getting into the detail of my content is, you know, how big a problem is this for people in the first instance? What are their kind of biggest barriers to actually doing that? So I would put in a couple of polls and just ask people questions about that particular topic. And I am upfront to let people know that it's about me creating content for them that's going to help them in their business. So polls are really cool in groups. You will always get people responding to those. Questionnaires are a little bit, I mean, they're great, but because questionnaires tend to be like, 7 minutes long, maybe to complete, people are like a bit like, oh, I've got that kind of time. But you can incentivize, obviously, running a questionnaire. So you could run it for 7-10 days. You could do a draw out of the hat and win somebody in that way. Questionnaires, I would use SurveyMonkey, but you can use Typeform, anything like that, where you can get people just to type in. And you probably want to have somewhere between 7 and 10 questions in a questionnaire like that. You want it to be fairly easy for them to complete. But like a questionnaire is really cool because you get to ask some deeper questions as well. So that's polls, questionnaires, and then my favourite is about offering something in return. So for me, it's the end of Q4, it's the end of 2019. I want to connect with my audience, and especially because I've grown it recently, so I want to understand who the new people are, what their business is, how long they've been in it, what their key challenges are. So the way that I've positioned it is that I've offered a 30-minute slot where there's 15 minutes where people will get the first 15 minutes is me actually asking them some market research questions, and then the next 15 minutes is me coaching and supporting them as well. So it's that kind of like, you give something and they receive something. I don't know if I said that right, but you get the meaning. So that's that's the kind of 3 things that I like to do most definitely. If you run an event, you definitely get some feedback forms, ask people for testimonials, anything like that. When I went and spoke at Bavner's retreat recently, their guys were great. They gave me testimonials, gave me some feedback. Anything like that is really, really essential. So does that help you, Becky, with ideas about how to do questionnaire, how to do your market research? And it also, something I think that many people miss out on is that they forget about all the clients that have previously worked with them. And these are a source of like really, really powerful people, because they know you, they trust you. That, they may not be working with you anymore, but they still have a lot of information. So actually getting in touch with previous clients and saying, do you want to jump on a quick call? And, make it really clear. I had to make it really clear in mine that it wasn't like a scammy way to get people onto a sales call. It was genuinely interested to hear from people. If people want to work with you after that, I think that's absolutely fine. There's not a problem to actually, for that to lead into a sale, but I think keep it as market research, get in contact with previous clients, ask them what's going on in their life, get them on a call, ask them some questions. So that's the kind of things that I would recommend in terms of market research. But there's other things you can use well. There's all the kind of different groups that are pulling together like the national picture and stuff like that. But I think for us as solopreneurs, especially if we're nurturing an audience, is that we really want to understand if we've got the right people in our audience and what their needs are and how we can help and support them. So that's kind of where I'd start, and then I'd go a little bit bigger than that. So I hope that's helpful. Any other questions? I'm really happy to answer any questions. Any questions about the event on the 30th as well? If you like, I'd love to come if it was not in London. Well, do you know what? I'm making a stand for women who don't live in London, who don't want to travel to London, who don't want to pay like really expensive train fares or hotel fares. It's like, I run my events in York. They're awesome. York is really, really easy to get to. When I went to Bavner's retreat, she ran it just outside York, and I think every single person, including Bavner, apart from me, I had like a 10-minute drive there, but every single person came up from London, not Bavner, but everybody else did. So yeah, so York is a great place to come to, and it's really pretty as well. People get really like, oh my god, I've never spent any time in York, it's so pretty. It's like, yes, I know, it's lovely. Okay, so no more questions about, oh, hang on. Morgan, I help parents to use baby sign language to communicate with their babies before babies can speak. I want to create a 5-day challenge for pregnant women to get ready for the arrival of their baby. I think this will help them to get to know about baby sign language and help them to connect with me. What do you think? Ooh. I'm just trying to think about this through. Again, in the whole theme of market research, I would actually ask them. I would go and ask, it's a long time since I've been pregnant, like 10 years ago. I would actually go and ask them that if this is something they would be interested in. There's part of me that thinks, let's say if it was first baby, because that's when people like to do like baby yoga and massage and all of that. But so you've got other children, all that stuff's nice to do, but you've got another child that you're trying to get round. So let's say that your prime market are first-time parents. There's part of me that thinks, like, if this is something that you run locally, I don't know if it is, but if it is, I'd almost be tempted to run like an information event. Yeah, it is, and you've got that high turnover of clients, that are, you want to be looking. I don't know how long your course is, but you want to be looking like regularly, growing your list and getting people in. So there's two things that's come to mind. Rather than a challenge, challenges are amazing, and I could be completely wrong. And again, that's the thing about business and so on, is that you have to test the market. So this is not my business area. This is not my baby sign language, is not my area of expertise. But there's two things that kind of come to mind. If you are going to run these classes locally, so it's local mums, I would be tempted to run an event, human to human contact, people by you, so they get to meet you. And that's exciting, isn't it? That they get, you can really put it across, is that they get to meet other women who are also on maternity leave. So they can, that's how I met so many of my existing current friends, is through the baby classes that I did with my first child kind of 13, 14 years ago. But yeah, person-to-person event. And then there would also maybe be part of me that thinks, oh, it's going to be online. Okay, well, you could do an online event, can't you? Where you do the same, you deliver the same content. So you could do it as Zoom with people, with their video boxes opened up, and do it that way. I would definitely have a download, whether that was a video or just a worksheet with some ideas about it. But yeah, there's all sorts of different things. I just think with a challenge, if you've got working parents who are not on maternity leave yet, would they participate in a challenge? Ask them. Honestly, it might sound like counterintuitive. You might feel as if you've got to know all the answers, but actually you don't need to know all the answers, because your audience will tell you what they want and how they want it. But I would definitely have a downloadable aspect as well. If this is an online course, I would want to be seeing you have a freebie that was something that you could download, and you can just put as a link at the bottom of some content. So people are downloading that. So whether that's a handout or a video, that's a maybe. Yeah, I was going to use expert in different subjects. Okay, brilliant. Okay. Okay. I mean, in a way, it sounds as though, this is something you're really excited about. Honestly, I'll just do a quick poll with some, even if you've just got friends who are pregnant, just go and ask them if this is something to be interested in. If they say yes, you've got your answer. Okay, that's exciting, isn't it? Brilliant. Okay, anything else? Isn't it interesting that the one of those 4 topics, the one that we're discussing is the market research? Interesting. Okay, right guys, so I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. talking about how to grow your business in 2020. If you've got any questions from watching the replay back, please let me know. and I'll be delighted to support you. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye for now.